everyone, welcome to my channel. This is for all of you that find nutrition advice super confusing and you're just tired of it all. You're tired of going on different websites looking for all this nutrition advice. Sometimes, it can be really confusing. One person says one thing, another website might say something else. So I'm here to give you some practical advice from a qualified nutritionist. I have my bachelor's of applied science in nutrition and food, so I know what I'm talking about. I've also seen quite a few patients in my clinics. I've seen more than 1,000 patients, so I am pretty well aware of the nutrition issues that the modern generation is going through. So I just want to share with you some tips and tricks on how to really, have a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle, and it's going to make such a big impact on your life. You'll be amazed. So the first things first is I want to explain to you the importance of meal timing. You want to make sure you're having at least 3 meals in a day and spacing your meals at least 4 to 6 hours apart. And the reason for this is, your body actually requires a constant source of glucose, which is the simplest form of sugar. And glucose is needed for your body to work properly. So many people don't know this, but your body, is made up of millions of cells, and the cells, their food is basically glucose. In order for them to function effectively, you need to have glucose. So that being said, you do need this to space your meals 4 to 6 hours apart. So an example could be if you're having your breakfast at, say, 9 a.m., then your next meal would be 4 to 6 hours after that. And then the third meal will be 4 to 6 late hours after that. Okay, so the next thing you want to make sure is that you are eating slowly. And something that I really want to bring to everybody's attention is the concept of mindful eating. I know that a lot of you know what mindfulness meditation is, but there's also something called mindful eating. What this is essentially being aware of what you're eating, what's going inside of your body, and not just eating, mindlessly. These days we live such a busy and hectic lifestyle that we don't really focus on what's going inside of our bodies. And today I just want to tell you, just try to enjoy your meal. It's a time to relax. It's a time to really nourish your body and to enjoy what you're eating. So take the time to just sit down in a place where you're not going to be distracted. So the first thing is I don't want you to sit in front of a TV while watching a movie or, a TV show, because that's going to make you really distracted. Our bodies have a tendency to not be able to multitask very well. So what's going to happen is you're going to be so involved in the TV show or the movie that you're not going to focus on what's in front of you and what you're eating. And that causes people to overeat. And when you overeat, what's going to happen? You're going to gain weight. You're going to feel lethargic, tired, lazy, and you won't have a productive day. I can guarantee that. So what you can do instead is just set a time for the day where you're uninterrupted. Maybe have the meal with your family. Sit down on the table and take one round of your meal, just one serving. You don't want to take 2 servings because that's going to be too much food for you. Now, once you've sat down on the table, you want to make sure for the first few days, you're actually timing your meals, because it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to tell your brain that you're full. So just go ahead and put down a timer and just time how long it takes for you to have your meal. A lot of people these days tend to eat really quickly because they're either rushing and they need to get somewhere, and it's fine. Life sometimes, gets really busy. However, I do want you to make sure that this is the time for you to really just, focus on the meal. So time out your meal consumption to 20 minutes and just go ahead and start eating your food. Some tips for you to eat slowly are to, number 1, chew your food really well. Because I know, for example, my husband, he'll eat this food and it'll go right down he doesn't chew his food that well, and then he usually ends up eating within, 2 or 3 minutes, while I'm just, taking my time. And by the time he's done, I'm just like, okay, where are you going? Sit down and eat with me. Another thing you can do is maybe putting down your fork between your meals, or your spoon, whatever you eat with. This ends up helping you to just slow down everything. And another thing you can do is just, try to taste your food. What are you eating? A lot of us might think it tastes really good and just we eat it so quickly. But you know what? It's something to enjoy. It's something that's nourishing your body, but it also should taste good. So think about, what am I eating? Okay, like for example, if I have, a little bit of pasta or something, I'm going to put the food in my mouth and just taste it. How does it feel in my mouth? How does it taste? What am I smelling? How does it smell? So all these things really help you be really mindful of what you're eating. And that really helps to slow down the process. You might, try to think about where did this pasta come from? How did it get created? And just thinking about the origin of the food, it also helps you to be a little bit more appreciative of, people who create the food, or how it, where does it come from, and the people that, help to bring these foods to your grocery store so that they're available to you. So it makes you a little bit more appreciative. Okay, so the next thing is, once you're done eating, after 20 minutes, you'll notice that you feel a lot better, and you're gonna notice that you feel like you're really satisfied. You won't be that hungry anymore. And you might even notice that you are eating a lot less than usual, because I'm going to give you an example. If you're eating your meal and it takes you 5 minutes to eat the meal, you're going to be, because your stomach is not telling your body or your brain that you're full, you're going to keep eating and eating and eating. And that's going to cause you to overeat. Whereas if you take your time and eat really slowly, you're going to end up eating exactly how much you need to, and you're not going to feel like lethargic or tired, or that crash feeling that you get after eating a big meal. You won't have that. That's one of the biggest advice that I can give you, and I have seen it for myself where people have taken this advice and have actually succeeded in whatever goal they've made, whether it's to lose weight, whether it's just to feel better, look better, have more energy, etc. It really works. So try it out and let me know in the comments below if it's worked for you. Okay, the next thing I really want to share with you is the concept of portion sizes and portion control. One thing I really want to mention is that portion control is key to losing weight and feeling great. In terms of your portion sizes, you want to make sure you stick to a smaller plate, maybe like a lunch plate. It could be 8 inches in diameter. And you want to make sure for your 3 meals that half your plate is composed of non-starchy vegetables. Now, when I say non-starchy vegetables, what comes to mind? So non-starchy would be any vegetables that don't contain any glucose or carbohydrate, or very little glucose or carbohydrate. So that would include things like lettuce, bell peppers, carrots, cucumbers, onions, what else? There's broccoli, cauliflower, etc. And if you have any questions for more non-starchy vegetables, then please comment below and ask me any questions that you have, and I'll be pleased to answer them. And the second part of your meal should be a quarter of your plate should be composed of your starchy foods, which is going to provide you with the source of energy. Now, starchy foods would include things like bread or pasta or rice, noodles, cassava, potato, sweet potato, corn, buns. So those would be your main sources of carbohydrate or starch, and that's going to be your energy provider. And then a quarter of your plate should, by the way, the starch should also be the size of your fist. If you just make a fist, you'll get a good understanding of how much starch you should have per meal. Now, the last thing is you want to make sure you have some protein with each meal, as that's going to help to keep you full for a long period of time, and it's also going to provide your muscles with quite a bit of energy. Especially it's good for people who want to stay full for longer, they want to help lose weight, and they also want to make sure their muscles are strong and they feel better. So you want to make sure your protein. So for example, I just want to mention the sources of protein. Some good sources of protein would be lean meat, white meat, chicken, fish. You could have eggs as a source of protein, cheese, low-fat cheese, lentils for those of you that are vegetarians or non-vegetarians too, or chickpeas, beans. Any of those legumes would be essentially your source of protein. Now, the amount of protein you should have should be the size of your palm. So just open up your hand, and the size of your palm should be how much you want for your protein serving. If you look at your pinky finger, the width of your pinky should be essentially how much protein you want for your meal. Now, along with this plate, you also want to incorporate a cup of milk. It could be soy milk, almond milk, rice milk, cow's milk, just for your calcium and vitamin D intake. You don't necessarily need it with all 3 meals. Maybe 1 or 2 meals would be great. And also, it would be a good idea to incorporate 1 serving of fruit with your meal. So, the serving of fruit could be the size of your fist. Now, that's what your meals should be looking like. Now, I hope this helped you. I also want to make sure you guys are having around 8 cups of water or more. Now, 8 cups of water, for those of you that don't know what 1 cup is, it's 250 ml. If you drink from a plastic water bottle, they're usually 500 ml, so that would be approximately 2 cups of water. You would want your goal to be to have 4 of those bottles per day. So try to make small goals every day. Maybe one day you could make a goal of increasing your water intake, and then the next few days later on, you can make your goal of maybe increasing your fruit intake, etc. Make small goals, make smart goals, and see how applying all these things to your life is going to have a huge impact on how you feel and also your weight as well. And not just your weight, but also just like your energy levels. You're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be healthier as well. So that's it for my little lecture on how to have a healthier life, how to have proper nutrition, balanced meals, and just feeling better overall. And if you have any questions, again, please feel free to comment below. Ask me any questions that you have. I hope that I can answer all of your questions. I'll be creating some more videos on healthy eating. Please feel free to comment below and just let me know what type of things you want to hear from me, whether it's any nutrition advice or physical activity advice. I'd be more than happy to help you with any of that. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you tuned into my channel. Just wanted to thank you for that. I hope you guys have a great day and take care. Bye-bye. See you next time.